Okay, everybody, we are back for today. We have gotten a good taste of combat. We were able to take down an entire beak thing nest without any real issues. We did realize all the eggs were gone, or there weren't very many eggs spawned, so we sold the skins, packed up some meat. We don't have a ton of extra crossbow bolts just yet, but we'll get those in time. Right now, I think our plan is to go and take out the Shek Rebels out here in the exile camp, and then we're gonna go looking for Flying Bull and see if we can take him out as well. Just because they're in smaller numbers and don't really have as good of a position, and I think we'll be just fine. Then we can come back home, restock on ammo a little bit, and we'll go from there, see if we're ready for the Dust Bandits. Yesterday was absolutely crazy. It was awesome how easily we were able to just take down our enemies. It's looking pretty obvious that this is going to work out great. Very happy with how things have gone so far. I get addicted to this game, and it's so hard, especially on this playthrough with it going so well. It's hard to leave it alone until it's time to stream. But I decided to test out some of my other ideas, and can I tell you what? If you start out trying to do combat without heavy armor of a decent quality on, it sucks. It sucks. Your guys will just randomly die to a dust bandit camp that has another one just over the hill that you didn't see. And so, like, you didn't even retreat because you had no idea those guys were there. It just becomes a hot mess. And they'll die. They'll just outright die. So, I'm really enjoying this kind of playthrough. It did give me some ideas, though. I think what I want to do is work on making like some very good assassination characters, but not using the assassination skill. Rather, making them very good at just dealing out an absolute crazy ton of cutting damage indoors where you'll find most major enemies. So we're not using, a falling sun or a fragment axe or plank. We're looking at like a foreign saber or a short cleaver and seeing how that works out when you focus entirely on dexterity, including the cybernetic arms. So I'm going to be messing around with that, seeing if that's even a thing. But right now it's time to. I can never remember this person's name. I know it's a female Shek. She leads the Shek out here. Tora the Fearless, maybe? Is that it? Now I'm starting to remember as soon as I said I didn't remember. She should be around here somewhere. I think we can pull over this way. We'll see how this goes. Want these guys to move up a little bit. Band of Bones are hostile towards us now. Does look like we're cleaning them up pretty well, though. I don't know if I see their fearless leader anywhere. Yeah, this may be the only thing that's a downside is there's not a lot of struggle going on here. This is actually a little too easy. see if we can get everybody patched up right quick. We're starting to take a little more damage, and it looked like we had more time instances of shooting our friendlies, but that is the nature of the beast. If we take a look at our precision shooting, well, some people haven't even really hit their friends yet very much, so hard to say really. There she is, Tora the Fearless. So now that we've got her, we can finish wiping out these squads over here. You know what, let's take everyone off range for a minute. See how we do just using our melee weapons. This is just one guy though, that's not much of a test. I know our melee is going to be a lot weaker, but it'll also let us build up our skills a little bit. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to work on our melee skills a little bit for sure. That'll just come with time. We don't want to sit here and fight that one guy forever. Alright, so we took Tora the Fearless. I'm not so sure Flying Bull is going to be quite the pushover though. We did get injured a pretty decent amount this time. Some of our other enemies were kind of a joke. I did learn a pretty fantastic way to AFK train crossbows, but I'm not sure I want to go and do it with this many people. Even if it was to work, I'd have to set up a whole farming situation there just to get it going. We'll go turn Tora in, see if we can get some more crossbow bolts. We're running a little low on everybody. Hopefully Ribs is going to hook us up with a decent amount. A little bit. Iron supply is going to hold us back if we're not careful. This bounty isn't really worth much to us, but it is going to give us something to turn in. So we were able to capture her and hand her over. Hand her over. We will send Khaled to grab some more iron plates. So the next thing we want to do after we just kind of get a little bit of combat experience with some bandits, make sure we can handle the Dust Bandit King, and then we'll probably look at the Black Dragon Ninjas. Once we've taken all of those out and Crawl's Chosen, we might be able to set up shop out here somewhere in the Sten Desert, especially using hydroponics, and just ignore the whole being raided situation for a little bit. It would be nice if we just didn't have the Holy Nation and a bunch of bandit clans breathing down our necks. Does anybody really need to rest up? I think Voth will be okay. Where do we... I don't remember where we find Flying Bull. We're gonna have to, like, look for him. But this will give Ribs an opportunity to keep generating more of those crossbow bolts, which will be nice. Khaled, are you almost home? Yep. We need to make sure we buy food, too. This is going to be where it gets a little tricky, trying to make sure we sell all this copper. I'm probably going to build a few more storage areas for copper, as much as I don't want to burn the iron plates. Just to make sure they don't stop gathering it. That wouldn't be very good. Beep, you can be an engineer for now. He's going to be our farmer, I think. We'll keep him safe. He'll provide us the good food. Help make sure we stay full and ready to fight. So that got us plenty of money. The copper is bringing in a ton of cash, which is great. We're not spending a lot on anything else. So we can afford to buy a bunch of food. And we'll check in on our tech hunters. I want to say the Great Fortress, that's another actual Shek kingdom. Who are these guys? Shek warriors, okay. It's weird I don't know where a lot of these Shek rebels are, but I never bother cleaning them up. I really don't. So I guess it's not that weird. I'm almost certain it's somewhere here in the Sten Desert, though, if I comb the area enough. And the great thing is everybody here is getting strength training just from walking around in all this heavy gear. Eventually they'll get comfortable with wearing it and won't be encumbered. Here's some Crawl's Chosen anyway. I like to line everyone up if we get the chance, just because there's not a lot of reason not to. But we don't necessarily need to be doing this. Just lets us not all shoot one guy and knock him out like when Griffin almost got taken out by friendly fire. Just too many people right in a row. Yeah, even the Crawl's Chosen. These are Flying Bulls, guys. I don't think we're going to have any trouble with them. Which is kind of crazy, but they don't even have anything I want to take. None of this is great loot. Very cheap stuff. There it is. So New Crawlia should be where we're looking for, and then there's a place that is full of berserkers will be another place to check out too. I didn't want to get in a ton of fights before getting there, but here we are. Are we running out of crossbow bolts? No, not really. Oh, and we've got some backup. The Shekker here too. This will be easy. Gotta love it. It's crazy how effective this is. And I don't think it's news to anyone now. When I first started doing this, I felt like not a lot of people understood how crazy crossbows are. I think people have figured that out, but I still haven't seen anyone running around with a full group of them. And maybe that's because it's too good and they were like, that's a cop out. I have no idea. But when I build an army, especially if I'm playing unmodded, I feel like this is the way the game's intended to be played, okay? This is just a really good tactic. It's not my fault you gave me the ability to make Space Marines in the default game. And I'm having way too much fun getting revenge, absolutely clapping all these people that used to be a huge barrier to the end game, just trying to not die every time you encounter them. So we don't necessarily want this extra added patrol troop in on the fight. I don't even know how many people are in this fort. So we'll pull back. Some of us are getting a little low on bolts, so looks like they're coming the way we were. We're going to curve around. No harm in fighting tactically and not having an extra entire small force involved. What if you look, this little crap hole isn't going to put up much of a fight. They don't even have turrets. So this should be pretty fantastic. We do need to be aware that that patrol or another patrol could come back sometime soon, though. So we'll put everyone on hold and try to get them to come to us. We don't want to get pulled into close quarters if we can help it. They think we're cannibals? That's interesting. Griffin, you don't have to shoot Kang right in the back. Bell, you don't necessarily need to be on the very front lines either. Yeah, it looks like for the most part they're going to come to us, which is great, but they're also having us shoot a lot from really far away, which I don't like. It's crazy they're just kind of running out into a firing squad one-on-one. Where is their leader? Come on, man. Are we gonna have to run in after him, or did he already come out? I don't remember anyone impressive showing up. Huh. Yeah, I don't see Flying Bull anywhere. Shouldn't he be here? Maybe he's up in this keep. Is he taking a good old nap? Is that what's going on? Did we catch you napping? We sure did. And that guy's scary. We're not trying to, like, get cramped in there and fight him like that. This is gonna be tougher. Can we see him in this hot mess? Yeah, take him down first. I think we already did. We are having some people go down. Doesn't look like we lost any limbs, though, which is something you always got to worry about when fighting Shek. Pick everybody up, and we'll get the heck out of here. We don't want to hang around waiting for everybody to wake up. And Belt, make sure he's not going to die. Yep. Moo, did you get hecked up? Alright, so the entire force of Rebel Shek are pretty much taken out now. That'll do. Well, we gotta find the Berserkers. That's not true. There are still the Berserkers. I think they have a leader as well. Then it'll be time to clean up the Dust King and the Black Dragon Ninjas. So far, it hasn't been that bad. This fight actually tested us a little bit because of the close quarters and having to really push in there and then fight someone inside. That is going to be the downside against this, is that fighting people that refuse to come outside is going to be more difficult. If we look now, though, our precision shooting's coming up a lot. We're getting much better at not shooting our buddies. Oh, what are we? We're getting attacked by something. Can't have Belt getting attacked. Looks like we might be running out of crossbow bolts now, too. Yeah, that's not gonna help. Oof, maybe I should have kept them picked up. Yikes. Angry. Angry little doggy. We're a lot closer to AdMag, but it means going off the road, and that might actually be worse. We're definitely in the find out phase if we get caught out by too many people. We don't have a ton of bolts left, and our melee combat is just not going to be good yet. You know, we've got people that still have a 1 for melee attack. May as well have a trophy out of it, huh? So far, it's working out great, but we're definitely going to encounter some resistance as we get into the tougher enemies. We're basically just outscaling the enemies around here with really good equipment and using crossbows as an entire squad. And we're only getting away with that because we do the heavy armor, so we don't just murder each other by accident. I could probably show you guys, I could do a quick save, take all their armor off, and have them just go run in a clumped up ball and shoot, and you'll see like 5, 6 people die instantly. That's the big downside to having crossbow people is you either have to micro them a ton, or you need heavy armor just to not make it awful. And whoever's on your front line can't be wearing light armor either. They need heavy for sure if you're going to have a bunch of crossbow guys behind them. Oh, this is something I don't like. Oh, did the spiders hecked off and went the other way? Hallelujah. That could have been rough. Really slow swinging attacks, no crossbow bolts, skin spiders. That would have been rough. I'm not sure I would have appreciated how that went. Random Shek Warrior. I wonder if we'll get decent rep for clearing out all of their riffraff. That would be pretty nice. But I think we're stuck doing the Bug Master and tons of people that randomly get a bounty. Ribs is already back over here, which isn't a great sign on our bolts making endeavor. We're gonna have to do some pretty regular runs with Khaled to get more iron plates. So I think as soon as we get done with these bandits, it's time to heavily prioritize getting hydroponics and the harpoon turrets that I want. I may even give up on the rotary harpoon turrets just to make sure we can actually go get our base going so that we have food and iron plate production to keep up the crossbow bolt production. But we kept this guy alive, which will make sure we get the full bounty. That's nice. We're not exactly strapped for cash, but it's good to have. Is there somebody we can talk to? There you are. Nice. 30,000 smackaroos. Looks like we can get at least 2 apiece, which isn't the best. We also ran our food dry just doing those 2 expeditions. That's going to be the sketchy part at the start, is being encumbered, how quickly we're going to go through food. We might need to go on another hunt just to make sure we can keep ourselves fed. Yeah, there's not a ton of food. That's wild. I guess there's not a bad amount either, but I wouldn't hate to see more. Put it that way. I don't want to march through the Holy Nation territory and get them stuck to our backs just yet, but it's definitely looking like we need a self-sufficient base just to feed these guys. So let's go grab our next goal, and then we'll probably hold off on the Black Dragon Ninjas until we have a much better setup on food. I'll unfortunately need to keep really making sure I buy food every single day. That will help. But the biggest thing is going to be going hunting, hunt down some beak things, some garu, some bulls. Unfortunately, one of the best places to go hunting safely is to go hunt the bulls over here in Skinner's Roam. But beak things aren't a big concern for us, so we can do that as well. Go ahead and buy a ton of food. At least money's not a problem. We definitely can afford to just buy plenty of food. It's just how available how available is all of the food. That's the biggest problem. Eventually it'll start to feel like there's just not enough food available. It'll also cool off a little bit on the food as we get stronger. As the guys run around with their gear on and they get less and less encumbered, we're slowly going to need less food just to march around. I have to say this has been probably the most enjoyable playthrough I've had, where I just completely abuse everything I know about the game, and it's been the smoothest transition into having a fighting force I've ever had. I would have loved to have been able to do all Shek, if for nothing else than style points. I I don't want to waste crossbow bolts until we deal with the Dust King. There are a lot of dudes there. Ooh, we're going into this a little injured. That's something to keep in mind. No, you guys absolutely have to stay together. There's no world where you guys are allowed to split up. I'm not totally against switching out from this too if it becomes too boring, but this is kind of my thing, is coming up with effective strategies and blasting through the games you're playing. Like watching these guys get folded like lawn chairs is just entertaining. Especially the guys trying to fire back with their little wannabe crossbows. That's just juicy. Okay, and grab some more equipment. I didn't sell what he picked up last time. I need to work on that. Who else has a good backpack for picking up loot? We'll just take their chest plates. They're worth a good amount. Whoa, what was that about? Oh, the terrain was zoomed in, so it felt like we were going faster. That was creepy. Where is everybody going? Can we head to the Dust Bandit hideout, please? That's what we're after, guys. Come on. So now the question is, do we just fight them from outside and bait them out? Or do we try and make our way in? Because they have mounted crossbows, but they're nothing special. They didn't seem to mind us just busting up their gate either. So they have no one on the crossbows, so if we can just prevent them from getting there, that might actually be a thing. Yeah, we can just physically block them off from the mounted crossbows and shoot anybody that tries to get to them. We are getting bogged down and stuck in a melee fight a little much. We do want to, I don't want to over micro, but just get one dude each peeling off and taking care of business there. Yeah, this is a fairly pitched pain in the rear battle, it looks like. Gonna take everyone off of hold. Honestly, I'm not too worried about their mounted crossbows. We just need to handle our business. Paste, how'd you get out there? And where's the Dust Bandit King? Right there. Belt, go ahead and pick him up. Kang, go ahead and first aid the Dust King. Have Oron take all of his gear. I don't want to grab hashish. That's just going to be illegal to trade back in town. Grab the spare cats. We'll trade that to somebody later. Looks like we get a few free medicine kits. I think we're full up though. We have room for one more person. Let's talk to Cat. We'll bust him out, but I really don't want him joining us. I really don't. And the game crashed. Of course it did. Oh no. Maybe I need to uninstall Kenshi. I never used to have this many crashes just having squad members change. That's brutal. I really don't want to redo that whole fight. I hope that I had a good autosave. And in case you're wondering, like we are doing a vanilla playthrough. Kenshi just gives you some tools you can use and allows other mods to be used. But we're not using any of that in this playthrough. I just haven't gone through Nexus and turned it off, but I probably will before the next time we play. I definitely am concerned it's adding crashes. That's not to throw shade on Rikenshi. It's amazing, but I think There's a reason one of the main things it does is set up crash reports and autosaves before crashing. I know Kenshi's notorious for it, but when you've got a good enough computer, depending on your mods and your population settings, you don't really see that many problems with crashes anymore. At least I haven't. That hasn't been my experience lately. So we'll go ahead and do a hard save. I just don't feel like we'd leave this guy here to die, even if we don't take him with us. I guess we are taking him with us. Okay, well, we will put you into the Squin team. I have no idea what we're going to do. You're just another mouth to feed at this point. Maybe we can get him working on crossbow bolts too. Who knows? But we've kind of taken what we can from this place. It's time to head out. Dust bandits here got absolutely dusted. Just the way we like it. Yeah, just to confirm, he's still in good health. Good. Let's see if we can buy some food yet. Check about selling our copper too. Oh yeah, we can buy more food, which is great. We need it. Excellent. Alright, we've got a bunch of extra food. Oh guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? Get across the river, please. Do whatever you gotta do here. Ribs is aimless, huh? Okay, okay. We can sell that armor plating since we're not gonna be using it. Looks like these guys aren't too happy about us having their leader all scooped up and ready to go. Come on, Belt. There it is. We'll wrap this up right quick. And we'll get to heading home. And now I think the next thing we're gonna do is just check for any tech hunter stuff we can get that might have AI cores. That's gonna be the thing we're doing next. We're going straight for some technology. I don't think I want to worry about getting my rotary turrets. I don't want to sit here buying food all the time. It's just obnoxious. We're still on quite the move order over here. Khaled, what are you getting attacked by? It is not something you can outrun, is it? Oh no. Run him into the goats. Help, goats. Ah, oh, come on. I just need you to hit the goat accidentally one time. No such luck. We will take this guy's food. We did find out, I did hit him with a stick for like 5 seconds and found out he's a terrible training dummy. So we are going to get rid of this little nugget guy as soon as we get home. But apparently it makes it super efficient to carry people if you just stuff your backpack on them instead. I don't necessarily want to kill this guy though. It'd be pretty cool to be able to join him so the skin bandits aren't an issue. So we'll just put him in there for now. Are we getting worse and worse? Oh, we're at minus 80 with the skin bandits. Oh no. I forgot about that. We already went and got our crab armor. Whoo boy. Well, you know what that means. Oh wait, he's got an 80,000 bounty. That's what that means. Never mind. Just kidding. That's what that means. We'll go turn him in. Once we're ready to make a longer trek and we've got a serious amount of food on us, we can head that way. But if we don't want to end up being hungry bandits ourselves, we're going to have a serious food supply chain. I wonder if we still get raided by the dust bandits now that he's down. I'm not too sure what that's going to look like for us, but we could avoid getting interrupted while we're trying to set up our base. That would be great. Just gonna sell off some stuff here. We're making a ton of money off of our copper as it is, but it doesn't hurt. Why are there dust bandits just chilling here? Jobs. Run over here. Turn on our tech hunters to taunt and attack all of these guys. We don't want these guys getting attacked at all. Hold passive block. Well, that was kind of lame. I am gonna sell a whole bunch of this armor plate just because we can. That just gives us a nice secondary income for now. Engineering research ain't bad, but it's not what we're looking for. We've got a decent amount there as far as crossbow bolts are concerned. We're doing okay in the food department. I'm not hating how we're keeping up with it. I am tired of getting attacked though. Oh, I should have thought of that. We shot Bean Hop. My goodness. Let's take our guys off of range for now and not kill any of our friends. Jeez, that was rough. Okay, so we gotta take pretty much all of them that aren't miners off of medic. Khaled's got beep. All of this stuff is just serving as a disruption. It's just interrupting, trying to get the heck out of town. I think it's safe to go ranged now. Right? It is not. Beanhop, how? How are you already under attack? This is insane. We're just gonna pull everybody back. This is insane. And then we'll have Ribs, Cat, Khaled doing her job. But that's about it. We're gonna take a break. We need everyone to stop getting hurt, please. Alright, we added one location to the map where we might get AI cores. Okay, it's over in Venge. Luckily, we are equipped to deal with that. So that's our first lead. We're gonna head there. Belt, what else do we have? Looks like we don't have many leads on AI cores just yet, but that's okay. We're going to take like all the food though. If we're going that far out, we're just gonna load people up with food. Because our people back home here are going to be able to grab food as the days go on. We're going to need it. Yeah, we're gonna have to move on out soon, whether I like it or not. We're basically after some AI cores, and then we're moving out. Whether or not we have the revolving turrets, it makes me sad, but we can't wait any longer. We'll set up a training turret, and we'll have Khaled go get enough iron plates to actually do it. We've got enough money for now that we can kind of give everyone a break, let them stay safe, and stop getting assaulted randomly all the time. I think that'll be for the best to keep us from getting distracted in the field. Quick pause right for a second. Okay, had to grab some refreshment. Now we can keep rocking. I'm hoping this pays off. I probably should have went for hydroponics a lot sooner, but the other option we have is to head to Black Desert City. If this doesn't pay off, honestly, Black Desert City is literally closer. That's tempting. Wait. Hold on. Oh no, they're not gonna give us a chance. We're gonna stay off of ranged and just beat these guys down the old school way. I don't want to waste bullets on these guys. We have the numbers on them for once, and we're just gonna bleed them out the old school way. They sure shooting don't do much damage. It's crazy to me that they're so desperate for food. They would attack a clearly heavily armed and armored group. We're clearly not some pushovers you could just mug for lunch money. It is kind of wild that the hungry bandit leader can hold off our melee, but with all the negatives we have going on, it's not terribly surprising. I'd just like to see somebody get in there. There we go. He's about to bleed out. There it is. But we didn't take a ton of damage. We didn't waste bolts on a bunch of goons. Coolest part about this setup is Belt is naturally immune to the fire of Venge. And the rest of our guys are wearing armor that gives them immunity to the fire and Venge. So if you look at the helmet, we've got burning 60% and 50%. So we're actually just not going to take damage from the laser beams. None of the enemies we see there will either, but it's still a good thing. We could go crazy, like absolutely crazy, and build our base in Venge, just so that anyone coming to trouble us gets cooked, but I think that's a bit much. I don't want to have everyone in heavy armor, even if they're farming and whatnot. Um, See, these guys, though, we'll use some bolts on these guys. Peace, what are you doing? Okay. There's so many of them. We don't even have anyone injured enough to do healing on. That's great. We're not going to worry about looting these guys just yet. I need to remember Khaled's just sitting out here in the open and not get her killed. That would be stupid. Go ahead and buy a bunch more food. This is another easy way you can make sure you actually have all of your guys. Just make the box. Hold left click, make a box. Make sure you actually have everyone, because sometimes you'll hit tilde to select everyone and somebody just stopped for no reason, hanging out by their lonesome, just ready to get wrecked. That's also a big part of why our team's so successful early on. We have the numbers against a lot of these guys. And anyone that has the numbers on us, we probably have much better gear. What's this going to train her up to? 30? Yeah, we'll just slowly have everybody training up on turrets. That way, if we leave all 10 people at home, something happens, we can leave like 2 or 3 people on turrets, and then if a whole bunch of people show up, we can have more of them hop on. I think we want to kill these beakers while we're on the road. We don't ever really want to leave food on the table, you know what I mean? We don't necessarily need the skins, though. They're good money, but I'm more worried about just making sure we have food to cook later. I don't want to get any animals right now. Our food stores are already strapped. And they just take up the spot of a person when you don't have the 256 mod. where you can have way more people. I'd really like to. I'm definitely going to do a modded playthrough next. I really enjoy building these huge armies and managing all the logistics, making everyone armor. I just enjoy that a lot. Even if that's the only thing I do is get rid of the squad limit, and the towns still don't have enough food to support that, and I have to build a base before I can really start recruiting like that. And then maybe the lore friendly recruiting instead of, giving people Stockholm Syndrome doesn't sound like the best way to recruit to me. I'd rather just pay people to find people who want to learn how to become fighters. And the goofy idea I have is to like train up people, get them super equipped, send them out with like a ton of bandages, and just take them out of the team. Because anytime you kick someone out of your squad, they become a tech hunter. So it would be pretty cool to see that happen. Here we go, more food. I think it would be cool to see our tech hunters just wandering around the world randomly as we move about. I know we're kind of taking a beating here doing this, but we really can't ignore food while we're out and about. Because of how much we use up and how unavailable it will be, especially outside of a town, we just kind of have to take what we can get. I think I got everybody. We won't worry about stopping to cook it. Ideally, we won't even break into it. But this will help us not burn through all our food back at home as well. Smuggler's Bar. We're actually getting close, which is nice. Um, Agnew is at least someone we could recruit. I don't know what the game's going to do with us having the full squad. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Uh-oh. It would be sad to not get Agnew, considering we have Beep, though. I know we're kind of microing a little bit. I just don't want everybody stuck together. Nothing crazy, just a quick little spread out. But I do think it will be really cool to see, if we kick 200 or 300 people out of our squad in fully decked out crab armor, if we'll ever see them wandering around. Just basically putting trained tech hunters into the world, setting them free, and then they go wander around doing tech hunting things. It kind of fit the lore of the way I like to play too. I always like to play a very technology, trying to rebuild and restore our access to technology type playthrough. Is another great benefit of the crossbows is being able to focus fire the beak things really turns them into a much smaller threat. might come home with more food than we left with at this point. I'm not totally against living somewhere that will let us harvest some beak things either. Just having access to a bunch of extra food while we're starting out especially could be nice. And we could spend, the way too much money to ally with the beak things. That wouldn't be the worst. Go and kidnap that guy and sell him into slavery and buy him back out. And we eventually get to basically be allied with the beak things, which would just stop them from attacking us at all, which would be pretty cool. Oh, here we go. We found some of the brobots. Just have some people get on that outside edge and start shooting. Knife, you need to move. There we go. There's so many of these robots. Oh my goodness. We may not be ready for this. And blood spiders? My goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here on pursuing this particular way of going. Wow, we're right there. But that's gonna be a hell of a fight, and we're already low. I don't want to do a repeat of my last playthrough where I took these guys into a fight they couldn't really handle and then lose half of them or all of them or most of them. That would be terrible. I think we're going to audible. We're going to go back to Shim, hit the Deadlands, leverage the money we have to buy some technology. That will get me, I believe that'll get me everything I want anyway. So we're just gonna get out of the danger zone here. I didn't realize there were that many robots just hanging out. We're still fresh, we're still new. A lot of these guys still have single digit melee attacks. Like, I know we've had a lot of success, but the minute we get outnumbered severely and have to take multiple fights, we start to lose that advantage pretty quick. It's just so early in the playthrough. I am not running around the entire map trying to recruit people this early in the game. And we're not gonna do a load save just because something went wrong. So I'm just gonna not be a bad leader and get all my people killed. We're gonna head over to the Deadlands where it's at least manageable. If we run into stuff, it's few and far between. It's a couple spiders here and there. I can't be bothered to risk my people's lives this early. It just doesn't make sense. Looks like we got some people that aren't really in the mood for music, and some people just trying to lighten the mood with a song. We're throwing rocks at each other. That's funny. Khaled's getting up there on her turret training. That's good. So yeah, we're not getting enough crossbow bolts made to replace what we're using. We're going to have to get a town going. We need access to more food, and we need access to more more iron plates more regularly. And we've got a high enough technology that we should be able to mine it pretty easily. Oh, there's dust bandits out here? Okay, I mean, if you guys really want to. Well, that was stupid on their part. I don't know why they'd pick a fight with us. They're gonna die here now. Don't feel bad about that. We just have to watch out for these spiders. We don't want someone randomly being a little low and losing a limb. Belt's literally making fun of him for being human. So if you go through the dialogue, you can kind of double check it. So Belt's like, home again, I suppose. It looks like he's been here before. He's asking if they have their reinforced raincoats, saying, don't drink the water here or get me on your skin. Apparently, Belt has a messed up sense of humor. I know we could get some science from here, from the area surrounding here, but again, we're still pretty new, and it's pretty risky. Just coming into the Deadlands is enough of a risk. We're gonna purchase what we can. I'll consider hitting some of the ruins, but we don't have a ton of crossbow bolts left, and I'm not trying to get caught out in a melee fight with a bunch of noobs. We might have jumped the gun a little early without getting ahead on crossbow bolts, but that's kind of the price you pay, you know. I really wanted to just get to the action and have some fun, and I haven't regretted it yet. Who's got an open backpack that isn't stuffed full? Anybody? Not really. Probably have Bard grab it. He's got at least open inventory space. That's something. Mm. You know what? I think it just hit me. This is the problem with being obsessed with Kenshi and playing a whole bunch. I might have already bought the AI course from here. That would be frustrating. Did I do that? I did not. Okay. Whew. It just blew through a lot of our money. But I'd say it was worth it. Now we gotta remember, we've got everything out of the dead lands. There's no reason to come back here until we need cybernetic limbs or something like that. I didn't bring tools on anybody either. We need to correct that the next time we try to go somewhere hostile for technology. We need to make sure we bring some tools in case we can't lockpick something. Of course it reboots as we go by. Uh, we're a little full to be picking up iron plates, but here we are. That's another thing we could do is send these guys out to acquire stuff that we need, but they're pretty slow. And they're going to eat up a lot of food while going to acquire stuff. We are running right past this one ruin though, so I'm going to give it a shot. Ooh, that still hurt pretty bad. Bill, don't just eat a giant slap to the face. Nice. Say we handled them pretty well. Kang, can you hand off some of your food to Belt? There we go. This way we can disarm these guys and they're not... Oh, that... I can't believe I had a Mark III fragment axe shoved in my face. That's terrifying. They may be swinging it slow, but if that thing connects, you're in trouble. And it's worth 7,000 cats to sell, which is cool. Nobody got de-limbed randomly, right? Somehow we are doing just fine. Bell, you're not out of crossbow bolts, so what are you doing, man? Kang, go strip these guys. Oh, wow. These skeleton repair kits are worth a fortune, though. Hold the phone. That's 2 Mark II or better fragment axes. I'll be darned. Have him go trade with Belt. Oron, you go trade with Kang. Honestly, at this point, just get it out of the way. There we go. Is there anybody else over here that needs disarmed? Okay, and then who has a stackable backpack? There we go. So now we're going to rob them for all of their robotic repair kits. And we might keep 1 or 2 of them, but for the most part, we'll just sell these for a nice profit. I didn't even think about the fact these guys would have that on them. Okay, that's no good. Looks like Belt's pretty good at lockpicking, so we may not end up needing tools too much. What was that? An expensive sword. Hey, tools. How convenient. So overall, we still made some good loot and got to get into some decent fights. I just don't like the idea of infinite robots coming to blast me from behind. Maybe I was getting a little too worried, but I'm having flashbacks of previous runs of just getting murdered and not having a good time. Maybe we don't want to bring this much loot with us. Sheesh. Sorry, this much food so that we can loot. This is going to make back most of the money we spent too. Alright. We made it out of here in one piece. Nobody randomly got delimbed. We even picked up a ton of extra food on the way. I think this was extremely successful. We're bringing back a ton of loot to sell, a little bit to keep, some good research materials. I didn't know if that guy was gonna want to get a fight going with us or what. Let's go ahead and buy even more food just in case, though. Looks like we ran into some bandits here. Nothing we can't handle, though. We just ran right through their camp like a bunch of goobers because I wasn't checking. We know they can handle bandits. I'm not too worried about that. Just want to get all that food put away. No, guys, we're not trying to pick a fight with the whole camp. Not if we don't have to. Oh, do we have to? Like, sheesh. I was gonna say, if we have to, we have to, but not trying to. It's a good thing we're coming back with a lot of loot, though. We did spend a lot of money on trying to upgrade our science. I'm pretty tempted to just set up shop in the Shek area like I usually do. I've got a pretty good base layout. I'm just comfortable with the area. But I've also done that before, so I can't make up my mind on if I even want to or not. Beep, we're going to have you get trained up on some turrets now. Random bone dog boondoggle. Oh boy. Do we even have inventory for this? We do. We can drop the skins. We don't need them nearly as much as we would need food. Again, I think it's important that while we're out and about, we do plenty of hunting. Although the bulls are definitely no joke. Cat, you don't want to fight them on your own. We are kind of bypassing a small fortune worth of loot here. But frankly, what we need isn't money, it's food. Like, we're only worried about money right now to acquire more food. We do need to get more backpacks on our people, including more trader backpacks. Does look like we have room left though. We'll grab the rest of it that we can. Oh, I missed some food. Can't be having that. Alright. I would say, again, pretty successful run. We're coming back with a lot of food. I'm not sure we needed as much as we took, and we definitely need to get more backpacks going. Huh. They really are torn between someone who really wants to sing songs and someone who's going to beat you over the head with a rock if you don't stop. I do suppose we can stop at this way station and see what all we can sell off. That wouldn't be the worst way to do this. Because we're going to have so much to sell, there's no way the shops in Squin can handle it all. Well, that already didn't work out. Yikes. Oh, we sold a little tiny bit. I think we're going to be at it selling a lot of this stuff off for a while, sadly, but we also are bringing home a ton of food, which is great. How are we going on the crossbow bolts, cat? Ribs, you don't need to worry about that. Eh, 2 bolts apiece isn't incredible. I do have to admit, though, guys, the new PoE League is going to launch, and I might find myself in an extremely powerful rabbit hole, tornado, whatever you want to call it. I might not be playing Kenshi for a bit. Or if I do, it will be because I have the willpower I never thought I would have. It's going to be quite the task to get me to quit playing the new PoE League. It already looks sick. But if that happens, I will stream what I'm doing against my better judgment. I usually am in the crowd of, if you're doing something really good in PoE and it works, don't tell anybody. Just do your thing. I'm not talking about like exploiting, just if you find a farm that works really good, it's probably because no one else is doing it. That's the main thing that will make it good. So you kind of just have to keep that in mind. But I figure, I don't usually have a ton of people watching during the stream. I'll have, 3 or 4 people that'll pop in here and there, depending on the day of the week. But I don't think my strat's gonna spread like wildfire, and if it does, then it'll be good for my channel. So we'll call it even. But I'm definitely big into PoE. I'm super excited for the new league, and I really hope that I get the chance to tear into it seriously. That's what happened after we got out of the busy season for my wife's work, and I would normally be right back to it. It was right into PoE, and it was the best league they'd launched in, oh, I don't know, 5 years maybe. In my opinion, it's very subjective. What's the best? I get it, but I really, for me, best league in as since Arch Nemesis. Best league since Arch Nemesis. So, quite a while. Now, I'm sorry if that's an unrelated rant. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I do plan on playing that, and it might take me away from Kenshi. It really just depends on how good the league is. If it's nothing to write home about, it might not. But normally, I think nowadays they've got it figured out, and we're going to have some serious fun with it. So we brought home enough food to fill more than 2 raw meat containers and at least halfway fill up the rest of the food containers, which is pretty great. Let's see how we're doing on copper sales. Oh yeah, because we haven't had them working. That's kind of tough. That may not have been the best idea if I was going to blow 130,000 cats on technology. But we'll figure it out. I might put everyone back to work now that we're in town and let the crossbows build up. We're a little ways ahead on food, so we might have room to do that. Like I thought we would, though, we are making a pretty penny off of what we brought back. Nothing too crazy, but all the food we brought back is going to be really helpful. And then, of course, we've got the technology that we brought back. Okay. Defense. We need one more AI core to get our harpoon turrets. So we're just going to let that go. We're going to get hydroponics and hydroponic vegetables. That's going to let us farm up a bunch of food. Like an actually spectacular amount of food. Oh, their shop had updated and it just hadn't registered properly yet. I was like, what's going on here? Okay. So we've got a lot of money still. We've got a lot of food and a lot more coming. We've got Beep training up on the turrets. Khaled, let's go get more bolts. We also want to look at grabbing backpacks for everybody. That is limiting our ability to bring back loot and food, and we don't like that. We'll just work our way backwards. Take the rest of the bolts. There we go. No, 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 no. Somebody get in there. Oh, don't touch that door. Whew. That was almost really, really bad. Alright, she's working on getting us a ton of food. Ribs, are you doing something? You are. Cat, you don't have a backpack. We'll take Ribs' backpack. Immediately under attack. It's crazy. We need to take ourselves off of ranged while we're in town. That's something we can do. Well, they're just gonna get hungry and go do whatever they wanted anyway. Hmm. We'll grab some iron plates. See if we can get some more bolts going. Oh, we need to move up the research bench. Oh, we didn't get the ore drill and the semi-automatic ore drill. We need more ancient science books. That's rough. But that's okay. Now, I think it's time. So we got to make a decision. Do I want to bother setting up hydroponics here? Or do I want to go build? I hadn't even really properly decided where I want to build. We have a ton of options. Shim is like the go-to. We have hydroponics, so the only thing we need is iron and copper. I I've done Venge and Vein. I don't want to, or I've done Vein. I don't want to build over here. It's too far away from everything, especially in heavy armor the whole way. I've built on the fish isle, which was pretty great. I need to really put some thought into where we want to build. We're not going to build in Holy Nation territory. We're going to take them on once we're a little bit better equipped and we've got a little bit better stuff. We might even have moved on to Eagles Crosses before we switch to dealing with them. We're mostly concerning ourselves with looking for technology. And it's spread pretty well throughout the map. I would say the northeast has the weakest access to technology, the whole Great Desert. So if we were a little more southwest, wouldn't be the worst, or just more west, period. There's some good spots in Vane, but the western end is too far. Dreg, we're going to deal with cannibals. I'm going to have to spend tomorrow really thinking about that. I don't think I want to invest into setting up food production here with hydroponics. Hmm. We don't even have enough green fruit to do that, do we? And these guys aren't going to sell green fruit. I am. I'm going to have to think about that. Where we want to fight, like where we want to set up our base. Phew. I just hadn't even thought about it yet. Everything's going so fast. Everything's going faster than even I could predict. I know I don't want the border zone. The Holy Nation are going to be there. It's not worth it. I've wiped out most of the baddies in Sten Desert. I would say most of the technology is in the middle and the south, directly east, and then northwest. Leviathan Coast would be cool. We're really far away from people, but we would still have cannibals, but there's a ton of animals. But to have sustained food production, it's going to be using farming. And so we just need water. That's the only thing we need. We're going to be pretty decoupled from needing money the moment we can make our own crossbow bolts and our own food. We basically won't need money at that point. We've already hired as many people as we can hire. So we don't need to build anywhere that we could do hashish. We don't need to build somewhere with animals because we'll have food production. The more I think about it, we don't want to go anywhere we're going to get eaten or enslaved. I'm not as worried about eaten. We don't want humanoids who would peel us, eat us, or enslave us, if possible. Shim is just looking spicy, but I think everyone does that, myself included. I've tried to build in the South Wetlands, but it constantly bugs out. You have to like import your game and do all sorts of stuff just to get it to where your whole base belongs to you. We could set up in Bast just to have a ton of combat, but that puts us closest to the worst places to get technology. You know what? We haven't done Venge. We haven't done Venge. It's a cool idea. But we're going to be under attack the whole time getting set up. I've done the Fog Islands. That one was fun and it was effective, but I've done it. I'm not sure. I'll put some thought into that before we get started tomorrow. I think right now it's time to go hunting for more stuff. I happen to know there's a lab here. I think that'll be a good thing to wrap up the stream with. We'll head there and check that out. Let's turn everybody's jobs off. We're not going to load up with food quite so crazy this time. And if we can find the Berserker town while we're out here, that'd be even better. Maybe we do something crazy and set up in the swamps. Or the Burning Forest. The Burning Forest wouldn't be bad. And we can do Venge. It is something we could do. It's just going to be tough. I don't mind setting up in the Shek area. I'm still leaning towards that if it weren't for the fact that I've done it before so many times. It's just such a good place to set up, and I'm not really looking to make myself miserable with my setup. I'll probably hop on one of my other saves where I have a really strong skeleton or something that I can zip around the map without worrying about food and just really think about it. I'd love to set up in the South Wetlands, but it always bugs out on me too. And I'm worried that I won't have the same luck importing stuff. And when you import, all the shops refresh. It just a little cheesy. I don't want to do that if I don't have to. Or try to remember where I bought stuff from. I know we can get AI cores on the Fishman Isle, though, which is cool. The Royal Valley would be a nightmare to set up in. Or since we're not looking to start any problems with any major factions, it really wouldn't be the end of the world to stay in town. Maybe I do just set up food. Our only problem is food and crossbow bolts. We could put more effort into buying crossbow bolts and maybe be okay. Or maybe set up in Katoon. I just feel like making a base is kind of part of the end game. You almost have to really feel like you did the end game. Was this a dog nest? Yeah. Again, we're out here. We're gonna do some hunting. I keep saying I need to grab backpacks, and here I am having not grabbed backpacks. We honestly could make a living out here just hunting all these guys. But this isn't the Hunter's playthrough, it's a Tech Hunter playthrough. But that's not a terrible idea. We definitely do not want to go in and get balls deep in a spider fight. We want to take these things as they come. We're going to want to pull some people back. Belt's already gone down. I knew the spiders were going to be dangerous. They're a pain in the butt to try and kill with crossbows, but this is a little ridiculous. I'm going to want to check everybody's gear when we get back to town, too. Right now I'm just trying to loot all the expensive stuff out here, and then we'll head inside. I may have missed something here or there, but I'm not too worried about it. Alright, we've got 2 more locations that could have AI cores, which is pretty great. We're going to go ahead and bring it on home. Once we get home, it'll be time to probably call it a night. I was able to get started a little earlier today, which was nice. I've been going about 2.5 hours. It's going to be dinner time soon. We were able to get the AI cores we need to do hydroponics. That's the main thing. Now we're able to feed ourselves without having to go hunting. We want these guys to be spending their time tech hunting and capturing important targets. We want all the faction leaders, the unique skeletons. We want all of those people to be basically our main targets, along with high technology. So I don't want to spend a lot of time hunting down food with these guys. I'm guessing these are wolves. Yeah. We'll go up and around that. Or fail to go up and around it. But I don't want these guys hunting for food. I want to be just producing that so they can stay focused on going adventuring, doing the tech hunting. I think we need to build towards the middle of the map. So we're looking at Shim, Burning Forest, or maybe even the High Bone Fields I could see justifying. Skinner's Rome wouldn't be too bad, but it's, again, the Holy Nation. It's looking like Burning Forest or risk it for the biscuit and go to Venge. I think the Venge would make a pretty good hideout, but we'd have to craft armor for everyone, and I'm not sure I want to do that. Just seems like a waste of time and resources. Before we head out of here, though, as far as leave the area, we definitely want to find the Berserkers' hideout and wipe them out so we can say we cleared out the Shek Kingdom of random bandit threats. Yeah, I think we're going to end up. I'll scope out the Burning Forest. If there's a good place there, that would give me a pretty unique base area. I'll see if there's copper and iron. As long as there's copper, iron, and stone, I can build there just fine. So I'll go scope that out, see what there is, and we'll decide from there. This is honestly the only real downside about living in town is having to sort out food. And even with hydroponics, it just hit me. We can't do food here reliably. We'd run out of water. So we're definitely going to be building a base next session. It's just a matter of where I intend to put it. I'll do some thinking on it and make sure I have that sorted out so we can get straight to it. We'll get these guys some backpacks, send them out with a ton of material, and they'll get the base set up. Then we'll come back, collect our non-combatants, and help get them there. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for today. Uh, I know a lot of you guys watch it after the fact. If you guys enjoyed it, if you have any comments, let me know. See what. Give me some idea of what you're thinking. Are the crossbows too OP? Do I need to try and look at switching it out? It'd be kind of hard to go back and do that now, but we could. It would just probably delay things a little bit. We'll be on tomorrow. We may not be on Friday, but the goal is Monday through Friday. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and we will get our base started.